The media, especially social media, manufactures narcissists and nihilistic perspectives, which sucks away all the meaning out of life as well as moral principles. We live in a world now where people question what morality even is. They think that morality is subjective, that it's all about your opinion, that they think moral values is an opinion. You know, that should not be a surprise, especially after if you've been awakened for some time right now and have been paying attention to the things that's going on, you will realize that nothing should faze you at this point. You know, people actually think that, I don't know, it's like when you think of nihilism, right? You got nihilism and narcissism is both spreading like wildfire. And if you really look at the two terms, they pretty much coincide with each other. You know, they, excuse me, they pretty much go hand in hand, you know? They work very well together because narcissism, I mean, it's really just a person who's very superficial and shallow and pretty much an empty vessel. And we think of nihilism. Nihilism is basically the belief in nothing, the belief that there is no meaning to life and that there's nothing beyond this physical dimension. You know, both concepts are pretty much three-dimensional. Excuse me, I have a lot of coughing today. Anyway, both are three-dimensional perspectives, basically. It's just physical, you know. Not sure if that's three-dimensional, two-dimensional, but you get what I'm saying. It's basically just physical concepts. It's very shallow and there's no depth to it. And honestly, when you look around in this world, you will notice that a lot of people are very devoid of, depth to who they are. It's like you get to know them and then you realize there's not really much there. Or a lot of people just don't really seem to have a lot on their mind or anything like that. A lot of people are not really tuning into more philosophical and existential concepts. Because if you believe that there is nothing, if you believe that life is meaningless, and that especially if you believe that morality is subjective, what does a person like that do with themselves? They distract themselves with pleasure. Well, what's wrong with pleasure? Well, pleasure is, it's up to you what you think is pleasurable, right? What I think is pleasurable may not be for the next person. But when I say pleasure, I'm referring to just carnal mindedness, total meaninglessness, something that is fleeting, the fleeting feelings, usually lust, things like that, lower vibrational type of pleasures. Nothing that actually builds anything meaningful. And you're noticing, and society is decaying, society is decomposing because no one wants to build anything meaningful because they don't believe that anything is meaningful. See how narcissism and nihilism, it comes together perfectly. They're one and the same, just about. They work well together, right? Excuse me. And you're seeing this attitude definitely very, very common among Gen Z. Basically, they I don't know, it's like you gotta really think about this. If nihilism and narcissism continues to persist in society, what is gonna happen to that society? It's gonna collapse. Soon enough, it will collapse. Because nothing meaningful is being built, and it becomes very easy to control the minds of the masses. It's very easy to control an empty vessel. You gotta ask yourself, why would the media manufacture empty vessels, also known as narcissists, that have a nihilistic perspective? Well, it makes sense because if you can take away the substance within a human being and make them empty, what can that person do? Is that person becomes easy to control, especially by the evil. It becomes very easy for them to be very malleable by whatever direction that society wants to take them to, right? They become very compliant because they don't know who they are. If you strip a person of their identity and substance and everything that makes them them, then they become basically mere robots and programs that are controlled by whatever the media says, whatever direction that the currents want to push you. That is exactly where they go, which slowly but surely is creating sort of like a communistic type of society where people were pretty much a monolith, you know? People are controlled by the trends and things like that. You look at all these different apps designed to control what you should prioritize, the way you should think and program. It also programs you to compare yourself to other people so that you live up to the standards of others rather than seeking from within to know who you are. It's taken away the person's ability to have any depth in themselves. You know, there's no deep conversations, there's no profound connections with anyone. So how can we really be human if we cannot connect with another human being? How can we really be who we are when all of that is stripped away from us and discouraged ever since the beginning of life? It seems like the structure in which we live in is designed to discourage you from finding out who you are and what your purpose is. Is something intimidating about people who know who they are and people who are vessels that are open to receiving divine guidance and information. There's something intimidating by those who are very, very close to God and by those who can receive a lot of what you call psychic insights or prophecies that opens the eyes of many and providing meaning to this world. Because I'll tell you right now, there's more to our existence in the physical realm, and there is a greater meaning that is beyond our comprehension. There is more to life than what we think or what we see. There are many different dimensions that are unseen that influence the way that we think and the way that things are run. The spiritual realm is real, and this is coming from someone who used to be agnostic. I was once an agnostic atheist, and I'm definitely going to make a video about that one of these days. But that's pretty much all for now. And I thank you for listening and tune in for more.